Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking a few minutes to hang out with me. Wanted to take a few minutes and talk about Queensrÿche. Just released a new album last Friday, Condition Human. So I wanted to talk about some Queensrÿche albums and kind of build up to it by starting with their first one. Queensrÿche, right? They started in they got together in like 1982. This was recorded in 83 and I believe it was released in 84. This is their first EP, 4-song EP, 80s hard rock, metal. And you got the Jeff Tate lineup there, and Queen of the Reich and Blinded were two of my favorite songs on this EP. Very good way to kick off a good band. Of course, I didn't even know about Queensrÿche until Operation Mindcrime, so I went back and got these albums later. Queensrÿche, The Warning. This is their first album. Excellent hard rock, heavy metal album, 1984-85, I think. And then Rage for Order. Starting to get a little more polished, a little more progressive metal sounding, and got to check out some of the pictures on the back there. Really good album, and then that led up to what some people say is one of the greatest concept albums of all time, Operation Mindcrime, which is just an outstanding album, and many hard rock fans, if they're not fans of Queensrÿche, are a fan of Operation Mindcrime. About 1990, Queensrÿche Empire came out, which they started losing some fans, and I didn't. I really like this album, Jet City Woman, Silent Lucidity, and it's actually a really good album all the way through, all the way up to Anybody Listening. Best I Can is a really good song. But Empire was their 1990 album, and after that they didn't make any more albums until 2013. For me anyway, I kind of lost interest in Queensrÿche. I don't know if I went in a different direction music-wise. So fast forward to 2013, Queensrÿche split. Jeff Tate went on his own version of Queensrÿche while they settled a lawsuit, and he had an album called Frequency Unknown. And then Queensrÿche picked up Todd La Torre and really kind of re-energized the band. When I heard Todd La Torre's version of Queensrÿche, I just thought it was amazing. I was so happy to have him back. I felt like they were back and together, and the sound that I was missing was back. I checked out Frequency Unknown. And although Jeff Tate is awesome, and all the years he spent with Queensrÿche is really good, are really good albums, I realized that may have been the issue, was Jeff Tate in the band. So Todd La Torre has a very excellent voice, and it's very close to Jeff Tate. So along with some of the backing vocals, Queensrÿche doesn't sound too far off. So they kind of found their Brian Johnson, if you will. And this 2013 album was just great. Really love this album. What else did I want to say about Todd La Torre? I know he kind of re-energized the writing too, so the music was more interesting and the writing was back. The band separated, and I know it was probably a pretty tough split, but it looks like it was for the better. Condition Human just came out and gave this a listen and wasn't disappointed at all. This album says that they haven't lost any of their momentum. Excellent album, if not as heavy as some of the tracks that are on the self-titled album. Spent all Saturday morning listening to it, checking out the artwork, and checking out the different tracks and going through it, reading some of the lyrics, and then doing some research online. And I just realized, just sitting back and listening to this is what albums are all about. Being able to open it up, you see the lyrics are written in a kind of font that kind of goes with the theme of the album. He has some interesting artwork, even though this did kind of remind me a little bit of Dream Theater's album, but interesting artwork here. Yeah, conceptually the album's really good. They talk about time and dealing with that, change. One of their songs here has a quote, or has some audio from Alan Watts, and that was pretty interesting. And the last track to close the album out was probably the heaviest one, besides maybe the opener, and this one was called Spirit Morito. But I looked it up and it means dead spirit, and it's a pretty heavy track to close out the album. So time, death, and change is what this album was about for me. Hopefully I'm close. But the writing was very good. The music was very good. You could tell that they're not just checking a box or doing this. You can just tell they have a lot of energy, and they're doing this because they love to do it, and they're cranking out some really good material. So check this album out if you get a chance. One last thing I wanted to show you was it is a 2 LP set with etching on one side. It has the Queensrÿche label, much like the 2013 album, the Queensrÿche logo in the middle there. It's on Century Media. What I wanted to show you was the last song, the Dead Spirit, is on an etched side, but the side of the album that's etched actually has the song on it in the center. So I thought that was really cool. So anyway, Queensrÿche continues to keep their momentum. I like it, been playing this thing a lot over the last week or so. If you're a fan of hard rock or Queensrÿche, and even a little progressive hard rock, check them out. Check the new album out, you won't be disappointed. Thanks guys for watching, and everybody take care. See you soon.